You're watching 90s Rock in 9 minutes. I'm Sam Bass, this is Ashley, and today we're going over Korn's debut album. Korn's debut album came out on October 11th, 1994. And, you know, the grunge thing had sort of already had its moment in April of 1994. Nirvana lost their singer, so the steam of that music movement kind of died down. But little did anybody know at first was that Korn was there to sort of pick up the latter half of the 90s and inspire a whole new generation of what became known as nu metal. I mean, there's literally songs on here, or at least one where he's like literally crying. Yeah.
No.
When did you first hear Korn?
Let's see. I was in middle school, and it was around probably 2008 or 9. Yeah. They were, like, obviously, like, a little scary, but I also thought they were, like, artistically, like, really good. Like, talented musicians and had a really good sound.
So that was, you first heard them on, like, playback on the internet?
On YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. That's how I discovered all the music back then was YouTube, because it was the main place.
Well, you raised a good point, because when I got into them, it was in the 90s, and there was no way to really look up something on the internet, like the way that we do now with YouTube. Mm-hmm. I just had somebody make me a tape of the... I do remember, well, I saw the CD, I saw the cover, but it was in school.
Mm-hmm. You know? Someone had it.
Yeah, I didn't have it to, like, you know, look at later on when I was listening to the records. Mm-hmm. But anyway, they made me a tape of it, and I was just listening to that at home, and my parents didn't know that I had this album. When I first heard the tape, I heard this clicking sound on the recording.
Yeah.
And I thought that they had a tap dancer in the band. I really didn't know what it was. It turned out to be the bass guitar was tuned down so low that you could hear the strings clicking on the on the fretboard. They're rocking out so hard, and I hear this like tap dancer in the background. Speaking of the cover, at a certain point, I just felt like the cover was too dark. Like I loved the music, but I did not want that in my house. You don't get the full story until you look at the back of the album. But if you look at the front,
he's got something in his hand.
Yeah, there's some person casting this big shadow, and this little girl's looking at him.
And I can see something in his hands.
Yeah, there's something in his
hand. Or both
of
his hands are weird.
Yeah, he's got weird hands.
He's got weird. They look like claws.
Yeah, and you flip it over,
and then she's gone.
It's basically the same shot of the cover, but the girl's gone. And if you notice, there's
like
a bunch
of footprints.
These boot tracks all in the...
Yep.
So...
Yeah, it's pretty disturbing. The boogeyman got her.
That is kind of what it seems like.
Kind of like a horror character here.
Yeah. I mean...
Expressing the darkest emotions that humans can feel.
So, pretty dark. Now that you said all that, I don't know if I want this in my house. Well, this kid, when I was in high school, I just remember him. He was like one of the cool kids. I always was, you know, kind of looking up to him or checking out what he was checking out. Mm-hmm. And he had the CD, and he was like telling his buddy, yeah, whenever we need to go to a show, and whenever the singer, Jonathan Davis, yells out, oh, are you ready? He was like, we should yell back, no. And it was just a corny 90s moment. Mm-hmm. Oh, get it?
Oh.
I didn't even mean to do that.
I didn't get it.
It's corny.
Corny.
Hell yeah.
Did they ever give an explanation of the inspiration for the band name?
Oh.
Korn?
Yeah. That story.
With a K and backwards R?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about how it's spelled, that is, I mean, I think I read somewhere it was just kind of like how a kid would spell the word corn. Oh. But if you want to know the reason why they brought up corn,
yeah,
All right, here we go.
Oh, story time.
This is Sam Bass from the future. That footage got misplaced, but I'm here to tell you now about the true, sick, and twisted story of how Korn got their band name. Lead singer Jonathan Davis was at a party and he overheard two gay guys talking about some gay sex they were involved in. One of them was down taking a bite of tossed salad, and when he popped back up for air, he had a kernel of corn sticking in his teeth. And that's how Korn got their band name, and a kernel of corn out of somebody's butthole became rock and roll history.
You said you have a similar story?
Yeah, you want to hear it?
I mean, I'm not going to be disturbed, am I?
Not too much.
Is it about you?
No, I've already told
Okay.
you. It's not for that. I just heard this random story one time from
Okay.
basically a guy and a girl were doing it, right? And I think the girl had some Mexican food earlier that day. And so later, after they were done, the guy's wee-wee was hurting, and they ended up going to the doctor, and they found out he had a piece of jalapeno, in his thing.
That settles it. I'm going to name my next band Jalapeno.
Jalapeno, baby.
Jalapenos.
Jalapenos.
I don't think there's any way to discuss Korn without things taking a turn for the disturbing and dark. The bottom line is this was created by a very warped and disturbed individual who did not live a normal childhood, and somehow that turned into one of the greatest rock albums in history. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're out there and you're going through problems, maybe you're just being set up to do something that's really going to be a breakthrough in the arts. Is everybody happy out there? Is everybody having a good time? Because that's what we want to do here, give you some good energy. You know, we're just going over the albums that we like, and if you have a request, then just leave it in the comments, and maybe we'll get to it. This is not for everybody, hands down. Like, I think maybe just growing up when I did and how I did, that kind of thing was appealing to me. I just really love the music. It's just so heavy, and like I said, it was innovative. The bass player playing the bass so low that I thought it was tap dancing. And then a singer, really emotional guy. And you could tell that was coming from a real place. So
that's probably why I liked it too.
What I'm saying is, if you're going to design a band, you need to listen to stories about weird sex stuff, name your band after that, and then have an album with a bunch of messed up stuff having to do with growing up. And you too become a rock superstar. Yeah, somebody out there, start the band Jalapenos and send me your demo. I'm giving you the permission to start Jalapenos. That's pretty good. I think we should design a logo. Let's flash a logo on there. All right. If you pay me, you can use that logo and name your band Jalapenos. It could be a little jalapeno. You know what I mean? With some balls.
Bruh.
So this album has sold over 2 million copies in America, over 10 million copies worldwide. Go ahead and make it 10 million in one. Get yourself a copy of Korn's debut album. Leave a comment or a request. And be sure to what?
Like and subscribe.